boy Solo. We right after the break. You know what I'm saying? We back. I got my boy Evans Dixon joining us for a piece of the segment. So glad you stopped in. Mr. David M. Boyd is in the building. Fellas, I appreciate y'all joining me for another Solo Cup session. This is the series of collective conversations. I appreciate y'all showing up. We ending this on a beautiful note. I want the minds of two masterminds, I believe, in both of y'all. Y'all are both geniuses in my mind.
Appreciate that.
You are both elevated thinkers, and I like to surround myself with those type of people. So once again, thank y'all for joining me for this. I got a few things I want to say, and I just want to see what y'all got on y'all minds. I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking. It's just going to be on y'all. You know what I'm saying? To give the people what they want. The minds of the good men in this world. Would you deem a relationship fruitful that you had to sacrifice for growth? Ooh. Could you still consider that relationship fruitful if you had to sacrifice it for growth?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're getting something out of it. I mean, that's pretty much the definition of being fruitful. You know, you're obtaining something like you've sown. You know, you put in so much work, then you reap the benefits of it. Now, we're still talking about sacrifice too. Sacrifice is just, you could look at it as work. You know, the things that I've done, the work that I've done, if it is proven fruitful and I benefit from it, I mean, of course.
I love it. I love it. What do you think? I'll repose the question just in case. We were talking about value is determined by sacrifice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So would you deem a relationship fruitful that you had to sacrifice?
I mean,
for growth?
I agree with Mr. David. You know what I mean? As long as you're growing from it. You know what I mean? At some point in life, everything there's a sacrifice. You sacrifice your time. You sacrifice, you know, your space or whatever. But as long as you can grow from it, then absolutely it is fruitful.
It's very interesting you stated that, but I'm going to move right on. Mr. David Boyd, what did you value most in a previous partner in a relationship? Just one quality. What did you value most in a previous partner?
I'd say it was the ability to depend on each other.
Dependability. Partnership.
In partnership, you know, we're talking about sacrifice again. You know, it was what I brought to the table versus what she brought to the table. And there are certain things we had to learn. We talked about this earlier, compromise. You know, there are some things I had to sacrifice, just like there are some things that she had to sacrifice. But as long as we're both willing to sacrifice those things for the betterment of our relationship, you know, and to have something come out of it and be fruitful out of it, then we both benefit. Now, the problem with sacrifice, and I think we talked about this earlier too, is that sometimes one partner can sacrifice more than the other person is willing to sacrifice.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
Now, I say willing because there are going to be times where in a relationship, it's going to be uneven. It's going to be unequal. I'm going to be giving more than you give. Or you're going to be giving more than I give based on our ability to give, our ability to take.
Even circumstances.
Even circumstances. But it's what that partner is willing to do in those circumstances. Now, if, for instance, I'm just going to make it easy. Say both of us have 50 cents. And we want to go buy a hamburger, a little dollar hamburger. I'm willing to give my 50 cents, and she's willing to give her 50 cents. Then we both can benefit by having this one hamburger. We'll split it, you know, equally, you know, straight down the middle. Now, if I'm unwilling to give my quarter, and she's willing to give her 50 cents, the problem is we still don't benefit anything from it.
Right. Right.
She can give her all, and I can give some, but then we don't
benefit.
benefit.
Y'all gonna eat?
Neither one of us are going to eat. So, you know, and at the same time,
something else. less gratifying.
Right. Exactly.
you know, and at the same time, you know, if I'm willing to give everything that I have, and she's willing to give everything that she has. Now, it may not benefit much. Now, it may only be like a little dollar hamburger, but then the thing is, if I've given everything I have, she's given everything we have, we're both going to eat. Message. But, you know.
Hello. Message. Yeah. But I love that. Mr. Evans, sir, what did you value most in a partner from previous relationships?
The opportunity for growth. You know what I mean? Different perspectives, different life lessons, different life experiences in general.
So
know
you
what I'm saying?
missed the all-around opportunity of being in a relationship.
Right.
You just missed the environment of a relationship.
Right.
Same man that told me on a different podcast,
Well,
I'm not looking for anything.
I'm not.
But you definitely
I'm not.
miss.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Ain't nothing
You
wrong
know,
with
and
that.
again,
I'm not clowning you.
that's a sacrifice on my part.
I'm not
You know what I'm
clowning
saying?
you. I just came to the realization that we had that conversation
Right.
on a different show
Right.
where you stated, seriously, I'm not looking, the time, is not now for that. However, now you're telling me I'm emotionally available and I miss having my boo.
Like I said, I missed the opportunity for growth. You know what I mean?
With a woman.
With a woman, exactly. It's a beautiful thing when you can take someone that's completely different from you, come together, and both of you can flourish and both of you can grow. She can add things to your life. You can add things to her life. You know what I mean? Just like the whole concept of the 50 cents. You know, if she's putting in 50 cents and I'm putting in 25 cents, I'm not giving my all. Again, we're unevenly yoked. There's not a balance there. You know what I mean? And what you're doing in essence by both of you putting in your max is you're planting a seed to reap the benefits later on in the future.
And you're installing a lot more trust in your partner.
Exactly.
By putting in, where every time she see you, I know for a fact, every time a woman sees you go all in for her, boy, you get it. It's almost like you double, because they're nourishers. I feel like everything they touch, they multiply. Down to birthing us. So the more you put into that woman you love, she's going to turn it into something even more beautiful.
Absolutely.
All because she saw you go all in.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to move forward. Those are both great answers. How far, Mr. David, how far does appreciation go with you in a relationship?
Oh, it's seen to the max. Like,
Yeah? It's close to a need, you would say.
If we're looking at like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like appreciation is like right here. It's at
Very
the
at the
top.
top.
You know, we talk about,
If not top two.
self-actualization and all this other stuff, but just the need to simply be loved.
Right. Right.
You know, to be loved, to be needed, to be wanted, to be appreciated. Just, we all depend on that little nuance of I want to be part of something, or I want something to be part of me, and with that appreciation comes, oh God, I don't want to get back into it again. Comes sacrifice too.
Talk to me nice.
It's a
I told you, express yourself freely here.
Sometimes, especially with not feeling wanted, or not feeling needed, or feeling undervalued, feeling underappreciated, that can lead to so many problems. Breakdown in communication. It's just a spiral right there. But let's just deal with being appreciated. I'll talk about a specific relationship that I had a couple of years ago, and without saying names, of course.
Yeah, we don't do names.
We don't do names. I thought I did so much for this person, and to the point to where I was going above and beyond what I thought any normal or rational person should be doing for somebody else. But it was all about making her happy. After a while, I realized that it doesn't matter what I did. She wasn't happy.
So you were sacrificing your happiness trying to keep her happy.
Yeah.
And she wasn't happy anyway.
And she wasn't happy anyway. So I think being appreciated goes a long way, but you can't sacrifice your own happiness in order to get appreciation from somebody else.
That's real.
That's a fact.
That's
It
real.
starts with you.
So
I have that slogan that no matter what happens to you in this world, it always started with you. You either had the choice to be in that predicament or not, or you didn't lead by example for somebody to know how to treat you. You didn't have a requirement. Moving to you, sir.
But even in that, you teach people how to treat you.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It starts with you.
In essence, yeah.
You lead. You
Exactly.
lead in how they should
Exactly.
treat you. So if you stand no chance in a relationship at all, they just don't know how to treat you, it's because you didn't have a standard.
you didn't value yourself.
You
Right.
didn't value you. It started with you. They could have never gone below the bar unless you allowed it.
Right.
You know. So with you, how far does appreciation go with you in a relationship?
Again, I agree. Appreciation goes a long way. A guy could do something for his significant other, and then she, may not even be expecting it, but just because she shows that appreciation, he's gonna want to, continue to keep doing things for her. You know what I'm saying? And also in that, it's about reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? It's about, I'm gonna show my appreciation for the things that you do. You show your appreciation. It's a give and take. You know what I'm saying? It's like a dance. You know what I mean? It's exactly what it is. It goes both ways. You show your appreciation. She shows her appreciation. But it definitely goes a long way. I mean, who doesn't want to be appreciated?
Oh no, I spent a lot of time giving, right? And I spent so much time wondering when my get back was coming that I was ruining the blessing of giving. What I had to realize is that giving without expectation is true giving.
Yes. Yes.
But in a relationship, it was always up to me to pick the right partner
Yeah.
that is even willing to meet me in the middle for the giving. So where I was frustrated with sometimes God and sometimes myself, like, why am I doing all this for my partner and she don't even say thank you? She don't show no type of, well, you know what God was revealing? He was saying, you picked her. You picked her. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You went to the mall. You saw all these choices, and those were the shoes you wanted. You had a race to run, and you picked cleats for a basketball game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wrong game.
Wrong.
Right idea. You went shoe shopping. Wrong game. So it started with me. I
Sure.
picked.
You showed her to play soccer.
Wrong.
Your shoes.
Yeah, I was expecting something from the wrong pick. You know what I'm saying? So there I say, for me, in a relationship, appreciation is at such a high value for me nowadays that I am not willing to sacrifice being appreciated in a relationship, because I've been there where I wasn't appreciated, and I absolutely, I love the fact that I went through it.
And that goes beyond just
Some people don't like pain.
That goes beyond just a relationship, but it goes into your friendships as well.
Any type of relationship.
Any
I'm
type,
saying
yeah.
any level.
Yeah.
They want to be, even workers want to be patted on the back.
Right.
Recognition.
Employee of the month.
Exactly.
Some type, look at what businesses do, customer appreciation day. Everybody wants a thank you for a job well done. In some shape, form, or fashion.
So is it the expectation of thank you then?
In some cases, because I expected something from, in that relationship anyway, I expected a certain amount of appreciation. I didn't need a whole lot. Just, thank you, baby. You didn't have to do that. That's cool. It didn't have to be a new whip.
So what
birthday
happens
gift.
when you don't get that thank you? When you don't get that, as you said, that reciprocity, that when it doesn't come back to you?
I hit the red button. I was out of there.
Yep.
I've realized I chose wrong. We went our separate ways. Because now what I'm doing, if I stay longer than my welcome, I'm slowing up her progression in life, stopping her from meeting her true king, who's her equally yoked king, and I'm also hindering myself from meeting mine. So I didn't care that love was involved. See, hold on, they gonna hate me for this. Love ain't always enough.
No.
People don't know that it's cool to say love wasn't enough. What do love got to do with this time? There are circumstances where you say, I can love you from over there.
Exactly.
But you won't love me to my death.
Sometimes you have to say, I have to love you.
Yeah, I gotta
Right.
love you
Right.
from afar. We got family members we absolutely love, but will not spend a day around.
Preach and teach.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so moving forward, is there a scenario that either one of you, where sacrifice and appreciation from your partner is acceptable? I will say for myself, while y'all think about it, I'm gonna ask it again. I'll pose the question again. Is there a scenario where sacrificing appreciation from your partner is acceptable? Here's where I accepted no appreciation. I took a day, barbecued, and I'm talking about I cooked for about 50 people, only 12 people gonna show up. I got busy, 4-5 different meats off the grill. That the big tin pan of macaroni and cheese, my favorite, baked mac and cheese, baked beans, not out the can, the baked bean with the ground beef, brown sugar, the real baked beans.
Yes,
Because
sir.
you gotta talk to the people. Some people don't know the difference between bring the baked beans and bring the baked beans. You see what I'm saying? So I got potato salad. I got the works, chips, drinks. You know what this was all for? We had been beefing for like 3 days. I was tired of being at odds with a woman that I loved. So I said, you know what they always love to do? Eat. And I said, invite all your friends, all your lady friends, whoever, invite them, tell them come have a good time and eat. The one thing I did not do that night was eat. She made 7-8 to-go plates for everybody else that never even thought to ask me, did you eat, while I was still out there on the grill slaving, feeding people. I'm working this party.
Wow.
She never even made me a plate.
Let me stop you right now. This is where we take a nice break and explain to some of y'all what the problem with what he just said was.
Mm-hmm.
A man slaves. You know what? Not even a man. A person slaves. They do whatever it is that needs to be done. And we're just going to talk about the barbecue. Sometimes a woman's out there flipping them meats, getting them, smoking, doing everything else. Or sometimes the man is out there. Sometimes the woman's in the kitchen, dicing, chopping up, doing all this other stuff. Sometimes the man is. But the problem is that the other person wasn't cognizant enough to realize that during all of this working, that they didn't have a chance to fix their own plate.
I don't think she cared enough about me to fix me a plate.
And that says a lot in itself.
See, and that's
That's why I said it was acceptable that she didn't make me a plate, because I never would have found that out had we not gone through that.
That wasn't acceptable.
I was still. I said it was acceptable.
It might have been acceptable.
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. I ain't talking about when it happened to me. I'm saying in retrospect.
Gotcha.
It's acceptable because you learned something from it.
Exactly.
Okay.
I learned a whole lot about fighting for something that's not fighting for you.
Right.
I can pull on a brick wall all day, but it ain't gonna stand up and walk.
Long story short, fix a plate.
That's it.
If you don't want it, if she don't want it, fix the plate.
Maybe she thought that you was eating off the grill while you was cooking.
I don't give a damn what she thought. Let me tell you the truth. We had this conversation the next day. You know what this is how I know it wasn't about me. You didn't eat. Why? So that's a woman telling me it was your responsibility. You cooked all that food and didn't eat. You're an adult. Eat.
That's just being inconsiderate.
Again,
that's
this is a woman that didn't care enough about me to take care of me. You see what I'm saying? I don't care how mad I am at my significant other. There's not one that will say Jermaine didn't take care of me.
In some situation like that, do you read her for filth?
No.
So that is that
Because
on
I
you?
still know her and talk to her now. So the thing I know is there's been a lot of growth over the years. There's also been something that I knew back then. She wasn't groomed to care for a man.
Has she ever brought you a plate after that? Just say,
She
hey, I just want to
actually
check and see
cooked.
if you was hungry.
She actually, let me tell you what happened. She actually cooked. This is after we broke up. Her family had a gathering. She made a plate. I threw it in the street because we got into it over there. And I actually didn't just throw it in the street. I just threw it down. Like, you know what? I shouldn't have even came over here. Because it was another petty reason, but that's too personal to,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, to reveal. Again, it wasn't working. But the thing I had to literally know is she was never groomed for me.
Again.
Things that I required, it was conflict. It wasn't compromise. Things that she required, it was conflict. It wasn't compromise. I mean, it was compromise and never conflict because she knew I was going to do them to meet her needs.
You provided, yeah.
Then I opened my eyes like, this is so one-sided. It's crazy. I can't even believe I let myself go this far because I had never done it. Not that far.
Unequally yoked.
So far unequally yoked.
Not even unequal, just not yoked at all.
Wasn't no yolk. It was a boiled egg. It's the outer rim of a boiled egg. Wasn't even no yolk in it. So I thank God I went through that because I wouldn't know what I know now. I feel for people that ain't been through nothing, that don't have a story. Because they're about to see so much out here.
Now, let me ask this question here, though. How much does she appreciate herself? Because if she can't have self-appreciation...
I think that's where it started, is that
right.
the self-esteem was so low.
Right.
Inside, I couldn't have treated that.
Yeah.
See, that wasn't a
You ain't
symptom.
Dr. House.
That wasn't a symptom. It wasn't a symptom, it was a condition.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Okay, moving forward, I'm going to list a few things that I think you should be willing to sacrifice in a relationship, guys. You tell me why they may or may not be important to you. These are things that I think you should be willing to sacrifice in a relationship. I'm going to start with time.
Okay.
Do you both agree that time is something you should be willing to sacrifice for your partner in a relationship?
Absolutely. Time together and time apart.
Easy money on that one, right?
Easy.
What about money?
Again, it's a no-brainer. Like, I should have no problem bringing anything to the relationship and giving, as long as I know that the other person is doing the same thing.
I'm thinking
It's
of
not
something
one-sided.
right now that people argue over in relationships right now. The guy is most likely, never willing to go with the woman when she gets a better job somewhere. But the woman always got to pack up and go where he go.
Oh, see, but
Yeah.
You
see,
what I
that's
mean
a
by
whole
money?
other can of worms.
No,
so
no, it's
that's-
not. That's money.
Well, if
The
okay.
woman's the earner.
That's to me, that's social roles.
I say-
A lot of that is social norms, social roles. You know, some people come from a very traditional household where the man has to make more than the woman. That's how they were raised. That's how it is. That's how they view things in life. You
Well,
know,
obviously in this case, we're not talking about that because the woman is the breadwinner here. He accepted it, but he won't accept packing up. She got another offer elsewhere. Let's go.
see, but that's still
I
involves
say it's
that
ego.
social role.
Well,
That's,
see,
it's ego.
me personally, I would have a problem with that because my job, with what I do, I can do it anywhere. You know what I mean? In car sales, you can get a job selling cars anywhere. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't have a problem with that.
You wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
So money, y'all say easy to go.
I've been the domestic husband.
Okay. Cool.
You know, where my wife was the one that was going out and working every day, but at the same time, I wasn't just at home playing Xbox. You know,
Right,
it was still cooking, cleaning, making sure the kids got to doctor's appointments, making sure that the cupcakes were cooked whenever they had like a fundraiser. You know,
Damn, you said something, bro. I was at home with somebody else's wife playing with their Xbox. In my earlier days. Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
No. It's just
I ain't even touching on that one. Nope.
moving, as Jermaine says, moving on.
Nope.
Moving on.
I'm talking about my adolescence, man. We having fun. Go ahead. Self-centeredness. Are y'all willing to put that down for your partner?
Ooh. Now, if you don't mind me saying something, there is a difference between being selfish, -ish, and being selfish. Now, people like, what's the difference?
Centered.
Being selfish means that doesn't necessarily have to have a negative connotation.
Right.
It means that I am centering things on self. I'm doing things for me. Now, being selfish in a negative connotation means doing things only for me in spite of other people, or doing things that may negatively affect other people even though it positively benefits me.
Talk to me now.
Now, I don't look at being self-centered as being a bad thing. I do look at being self-centered as in viewing myself as the center of my universe as a bad thing. Because I'm not ignorant or naive enough to believe that the world revolves around me.
Right.
Once I start thinking that way, then that's no good.
I told people the best thing you can always put at the top of the totem pole is, when you're being selfish, make sure it's about healing.
Make sure it's about
When you're being selfish, make sure it's about progression.
Right.
Everything positive you can list.
Right.
That's the only time I prefer you be selfish.
So this is I always wondered this. Can you be selfless and selfish at the same time?
I have.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
I actually have. And I'll give you let me see, how can I put it? Can I talk about that?
Like you said, I don't see why not.
No, I have
Talk
to
to me.
structure it in a way that I have to structure it in a way that I don't put her name in there. Because you can speak before you think, and I don't like doing that. So the selfish part of it was that I wanted my cake and ice cream, right? I asked for a threesome. Let's be real about what was happening. Asked for a threesome, she was not with it, right? She compromised, just not in the manner that I expected. You can have another woman in this bed, but next week, I get to pick a dude.
Hell no.
See?
Gross.
See?
It was a setup.
Well, it wasn't gonna be no dude touching me, but the point was, she was saying,
Right.
I'm
All
compromising.
things being considered,
Why are you not
Right.
considering me? And I said, same conversation, same sentence. Absolutely, let's go. Did it bother my soul to say absolutely? Absolutely, it bothered me a little bit, a lot of bit.
I'm about to say.
But I wasn't so closed-minded as to say, you can't have what you want, but I gotta have what I want.
Right. Right.
Or
So is that? I know that's being selfless.
Again,
but is that a sacrifice? Is that a sacrifice in that case?
yeah,
Because you're getting what you
sexually-
want. Is that a sacrifice more than it is a compromise? Is what I'm saying.
that was a sacrifice for me because I never imagined that I didn't want to be with somebody until she posed that question. And I was like, you're not for me.
To me, that seems more conditional than sacrifice.
I sacrificed the woman I wanted to be with.
If you want this, then you have to do that. To me, that's
She
conditional.
didn't ask me that way. I'm telling you, that's how my mind was made up after I agreed to that. I was like, well, this ain't my queen. I didn't tell her that though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Later, we just fell out. However, I decided to fall out. But I made sure we didn't stay together because clearly we're not on the same wavelength.
Yeah. At all.
At all.
Because you want other penis in this room. But is she wrong if I want other vagina in here? She want to play like I wanted to play. She ain't wrong.
She ain't wrong.
Which is why I said I don't introduce threesomes to my relationship no more.
Exactly.
Me and you, or go find you somebody that like to play outside of us. I feel like one woman is enough to handle at this age.
One woman is plenty to handle.
In Jesus,
Dealing with
sometimes
multiple,
too
Lord
much.
have mercy.
So the next one was energy. You willing to sacrifice energy for your partner? Sit up and listen to her whine about what you feel like you done already said. I'm gonna take care.
I mean, you do that. I think that's a natural part of it anyway. I think that's a natural part of relationships anyway. Is sacrificing
that's part
energy.
of the top of the,
that's part of a relationship. Period. Is sacrificing energy because, of course, like the saying goes, when women come up to men and say, "Hey, we need to talk," no. Then after the first thing that comes to our mind is, it's not that we need to talk. You finna tell me some shit where I messed up.
your mind already made up.
Yeah, already. So now you preparing your mind, you preparing your spirit to sit back.
You
and
need to talk, and I need to listen. Is that what you really mean?
Right, basically. But I think in every relationship
I don't think every
there's
woman's
an
like
energy
that.
exchange.
For the record, every woman's not like that. These are not blanket statements, ladies and gentlemen. These are from our experiences.
We are speaking in generalities,
Yeah.
but they are specific generalities.
Right.
They are
Right.
specific to us.
It's specific to
Talking
us.
about right here.
Absolutely.
You're talking about, those 4 words. I mean, I hate hearing those 4 words whenever I'm dealing with them. We need to talk. There is something about those words in succession with each other that will drain the life
Just those words.
out of you.
Not me, man. I actually get excited because I'm a conversationalist. I love to talk. I love to hear what other people have to say. So it's interesting to me because I'm very detailed in a relationship. I pay attention. I overpay attention. So it's interesting when they come to me, which has been very rare, by the way, when they did say, I want to talk to you. Every time they start, it was a terrible habit before. I was listening to respond, so I wasn't listening at all. Let's be clear about that. And as soon as they get to a certain point, I'm like, I noticed that too. I can't even argue with her.
Now pause.
Who got the bags? I want the cash in my line. Shawty, you